welcome once again to Talking Pictures Podcast. I'm your host David, and joined with me, as always, my very good co-host Brian. Brian, how are you today?
David, I've played a couple of games where I was an astronaut, and now I can do it. I can do it.
You can fly a spaceship. You can go to Mars.
I can go to space, baby.
Well,
I can do it. I can do it.
How relevant then that we're going to talk about Gran Turismo today. Another video game adaptation movie.
Not quite, but
yeah.
I would put it on the listening letterbox.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it's based on a true story, and it's from PlayStation Studios.
Yeah,
and
it's they have a studio now.
It's based on a game, but the game is actually like kind of a racing simulator, so it makes sense that you would have this kind of a story. I don't know. It's a weird. It falls into a lot of boxes.
Think of it this way: it's not a video game adaptation like Need for Speed was.
Yeah,
it's a real life story where a guy plays the game like you and I would.
Yeah,
and well, there's a reason this movie is made.
Yeah, the game is a central plot point of the movie.
It's like some guy out there is the world's best Mortal Kombat player, and his progression in becoming that world's best player of Mortal Kombat is worthy to get a movie of his own. Mm-hmm. It's not a
and he gets entered into a fighting tournament.
Yeah, if so, yeah, essentially.
It's a weird one. I'll be honest. It's a weird movie in that, like, how do you describe it to someone?
It's David, did you know? It's based on a true story.
Did you know? I think that the full title of this movie is Gran Turismo based on a true story. That's the full official title.
I think the fact that this movie with this story is ridiculous, that it is a true story.
Yeah.
I think the marketing has every right to own that shit like it's gold. Mm-hmm. This is a true story. We have to let people know. And when they know that this is a true story and look at it objectively, like this is a true story. A guy playing a video game, a racing video game, and then he goes on to be an actual racer. Mm-hmm. This is a true story.
Yeah.
What?
It's hard to believe. Definitely.
That's why I think the marketing has every right to literally put that slogan, "This is a true story," on every single promotional material. Mm-hmm. When the market did with Harbour and Orlando Bloom in the movie, they should have thrown Diamond Hansu in there as well.
He has a very small and limited role. I think that I would have liked to see more of him.
And he, if this movie's gonna get an Oscar nomination for any actor, it's not. But if it were, Diamond Hansu will be getting that. Mm-hmm. Do you see how easily he cried?
Yeah,
he cried.
He felt that.
I felt that.
Mm-hmm.
And Orlando Bloom, when do you see him in a big profile movie these days?
Not very often. I feel like I see less and less of him these days. If he's not running around Middle Earth or swashbuckling.
And he wasn't a dick.
No, well, he was very like business minded. Yeah. I think that there were definitely moments where
it didn't cross that line. He was not Josh Lucas in Le Mans '66.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there was that moment where
he was willing to choose the other guy better over our lead guy because he was only a second off, and just because he was better at marketing publicity. Yeah. So that's why. But David Harbour, the cruel mentor, is like he won. That's it. Mm-hmm. He's a very like practical type.
The fact is,
person.
He won. Yeah. He is the better driver. That's what we're going for. We're making a gamer a driver in the real world.
What?
That sounds stupid to say. I know.
What?
The director of the movie, Neil Blomkamp, he is very famous for District 9.
Not just that.
And
He did Chappie, and he did Elysium, and he did Chappie, and he did
Yes.
some bullshit demonic movie that no one saw.
and he was tapped for a Halo movie.
Was he?
He was tapped for... He was supposed to do Halo.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did know he was tapped to do an Aliens 5.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And that was supposed to ignore Aliens 3 and 4.
Oh, okay,
Just
interesting.
A sequel to Alien 2, and you'd have Hicks and Ripley and Newt, and oh, how cool that would have been.
Yeah. I think that he did District 9 after he didn't get Halo.
Really?
I think it was like I'm still gonna do like an Alien movie.
What was his Halo gonna be of, do you think?
I think it would have been a close adaptation to the actual game.
Any details? You know, I'm just curious.
Not that I know off the top of my head.
Because I'm learning this for the first time.
No, I'm sure there would be a good bit. I think maybe Peter Jackson was producing.
Right, I see.
Something like that. I know I could be completely wrong with that, but I feel like there was a lot of movement around it. And then instead we got the worst Halo TV show.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Different topic.
No.
But yeah, I think that Neil Blomkamp is a good director, and I think that he makes this movie quite interesting. I think visually, I think that throughout the movie we get a lot of like it sounds like so stupid. Like we get like a lot of like gamer graphics. Like when he's driving, like he sees the track
like,
to follow on the road.
Yeah, it's like what he's imagining, because he's sitting in his room playing with his fucking toy, vroom, and then you just pull out into a wide shot and you see like digital gamer graphics of a vehicle morphing around him as if he was driving a real car. Mm-hmm. Foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. Because he does drive a real car. Mm-hmm. Wink, wink, nudge. Because you know it's a true story.
Is it? Oh.
You didn't know that?
I did. So I think that visually he made the movie look good, and he made it look like. I think, it's hard to describe. It's.
I'll tell you now, David. The stunts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe we're focusing on the wrong thing here.
He crashes a couple of vehicles, and the way he shoots them. Mm-hmm. Oh, I went. Oh, Jesus.
You feel it. Yeah.
I felt it. I thought this is a very well directed movie. I can't believe he directed this. This doesn't feel like his style. Better yet, why is it only 64% Rotten Tomatoes? I'm not listening to Rotten Tomatoes anymore. This is not on par with Elysium. Mm-hmm. This is. I've never seen District 9, but it's arguably better. It's arguably his second best movie, if District 9 is his best movie. Mm-hmm. This movie is great, and you got a nice collection of actors making this Frankenstein ensemble. Orlando Bloom. What? David Harbour. Yeah. Djimon Hounsou, for as little screen time as he has, always underrated. And then you have this actor, Archie M. I'm going to call him, because I can't pronounce his surname. I know him from an Apple TV show, with Jason Momoa. So cool, so he's in it. And nice. I thought he did a great job.
He was good.
Yeah.
It's good to get like an unknown, I suppose, unknown to a general audience.
Yeah.
To fill the role. And I think that he's a good underdog. He was like, okay, I feel like I'm rooting for him. He maybe was like a little bit like, I suppose, kind of childish in that like, oh, my parents don't understand me. Like, I want to be a race car driver. And then he like, it just is funny that he's kind of like that. He's like, no, I'm going to be a race car driver. But he doesn't want to go to college to learn that. And he doesn't want to take the necessary steps to become a race car driver. Yeah. So parents like, oh, you need to go to college to learn how to do that. No, you don't get any time in the cars. And you're like, okay, well, how do you think you get time in the cars? Like, you need to be rich. Like, I don't think that the guy in real life was like that. I think that it was hammed up a little bit for the movie.
Oh, of course.
That he's like, I want to be a race car driver. My mom doesn't understand me. I just want to be a race car driver. And then this ultimate opportunity lands into his lap. Like, if he didn't get that opportunity, what was he going to do? Like, what would he have done to become a race car driver? Because he wasn't going to go to college. He wasn't going to do anything that was necessary to become it. Like, fair enough. Okay, I don't have the money to become a race car driver. And if I go to college, I won't ever become a race car driver, but how close can I get to it? You know, you find sometimes your dream is unachievable, and it's, you know, through no fault of your own.
Yeah.
And you just like you get as close to it as you can. And for a lot of people, that's okay. You okay, I really want it to be this, but I couldn't, so I became this instead, and I'm happy with that. But he just had no motivation to that. He just wanted to play his game, and he wanted to become a race car driver, but not actually take the necessary steps. So for that was a little bit like this guy was really lucky to get this. But
What were the chances?
Yeah, what were the chances, literally? And then he nearly doesn't make the race, which is kind of funny. He just like, it's a rolling start or whatever, so he has to like run in.
David,
just
this,
about
this
makes
is a
it.
true story, so I'm sure it happened.
I know, yeah. It's funny when like you're watching it, and some of the stuff like when it says based on a true story, and some of it is like so unbelievable. You're like, whoa, that happened. Did that happen? Like, how much of it is fictionalized and how much of it isn't? How much of it like is what happened and how much of it is
all of it?
We can just
all
tweak this a little bit. All of it is
all of it, because when he wins Le Mans at the end of that movie, you know, after that and the crowd is cheering, you know, everyone's listening to themselves. The score at the end of Heat went playing in their heads. You know, that's because I'm sure that happened in real life, because it's a true story.
I know, yeah.
You know, because I'm sure the real guy Archie, I forget his name in real life, but when he won, you know, he just started thinking of Heat, and then the end of that movie, because then that score starts to play in everyone's head. I'm joking, but yeah, what did I write in my letterbox? Aside from acknowledging that, hey, did you know this is a true story? But let me tell you about the marketing. Aside from the true story aspect, I thought this was actually bland and generic looking. I didn't think it looked great. I didn't. Wow. Okay. It's what? It's in August, really? Okay. And that, you know, I didn't put my watch list because of that. And then I think it suffered a bit, the movie, because it just wasn't greatly marketed. But the movie's great. The movie is better than what the marketing gave its credit for. And I was comparing this movie to Le Mans 66 to our American friends who can't pronounce European language, Ford v Ferrari. And I was comparing it to the Fast and Furious franchise, not for the same reason. This is what Fast and Furious should be, in terms of the stunts anyway. Because the stunts, dude, them stunts. David Harbour is just reconfirmed he'll always be great. Orlando Bloom, who's really good. This is nice to see him. And Djimon Hounsou was exceptionally sensational in this. He was cool. He's an actor who's always underused, and some characters he plays has promise for maybe sequels, but we don't get them sequels. The role he played in the Tarzan movie with Alexander Skarsgård, he was definitely like gonna be an ally in a sequel if they got it. He played a villain to. He's played a secondary villain in Guardians of the Galaxy. What?
Was he even a secondary villain? He was like a tertiary villain.
Maybe a third villain, yeah. Like that could, and what, he made a quick inconsequential appearance in the Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Was he in Quiet Place?
Yeah. For what? How much of that role? And he only did that after Brian Tyree Henry dropped out. And guess what? He's coming back in A Quiet Place day one.
Okay.
The spin-off.
Yeah.
As he's playing the same character. Okay, cool. Okay.
He's an underutilized actor.
He is
definitely.
a severely underutilized actor. And he's in the comic book movies genre with Shazam. And
He's the wizard. I forgot about that, actually.
That's the thing. He's not utilised, and he's not getting the promotion he deserves. Djimon Hounsou has never exceeded the place on the ladder that Blood Diamond was. But I know Djimon Hounsou from Blood Diamond, and he... fuck Hollywood for not giving him what he deserves. Djimon Hounsou. Just to piss everyone off, I hope he plays the God of War in Amazon series.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, he's got the voice for that.
He can have the voice for that.
Definitely.
give it to him. I want give him his own leading man series. He deserves it.
Definitely.
Series. The fact that I didn't say a movie was already an insult, but
No, sometimes like a series, like you wanna, when you like an actor so much, you want to see them as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like in a movie, you're kind of seeing, you're seeing them for 2 hours.
yeah.
Whereas a series, I could see them for 10 hours. Like you just want to be with that character for as long as possible.
Well, I suppose with God of War and it being Amazon, it can be as cinematic it can be. The fact that The Last of Us was a show instead of a movie was much more better. I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it got Pedro Pascal, chef's kiss. But yeah, and I even thought that, dude, David, I swear to Christ, I think the editing deserves an Oscar nomination.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
This movie? I do think so. I think that's what I said, man, after I seen it. I'm reading back. I'm literally reading back.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not on my phone having a crack mirror, man. But work into this podcast.
Yeah.
And for what I was expecting, as I said when I after watched the movie, I think maybe my expectations were low, which is why I liked it a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be said true, but the fact is I liked it a lot more. And yeah, and it used the score at the end of Heat, at the end of this movie. Have you seen Heat, David?
Yes, I have.
Man, the score at the end of that is cool.
Should we roll into some flashbacks?
Yeah, David, I got
Drive on in.
let's game on in.
Laura, would you mind just rolling that? Yeah, just down there. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Laura. Appreciate it. You got a flashback for me?
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I got a flashback. So my flashback is, although this was based on a true story, there was a little lie told in the movie, and
No.
I've got it as a fact.
What?
So,
David.
in the movie, Jan wins.
Jan is his name.
Yeah, Jan. He goes to GT Academy. But in real life, he was actually the third GT Academy winner. So the contest actually took place in 2008, and it was a Spanish fellow by the name of Lucas. I'm going to butcher this guy's name, right? Lucas Ordonez. He won it in 2008. Then it was a Frenchman by the name of Jordan Treason in 2010. And then Jan Martinborough won it in 2011. It actually wasn't held in 2009. Not sure why. But he was the third winner. And then he would go on to base his life on the true story, or base the film on his life.
So wait a minute. Pretty much, when you say he's the third winner, what do you mean by that?
That within the movie where they held this competition.
At the start of the movie or at the end of the movie?
At the start of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Like when he joins the academy to become a race car driver.
Yes.
In the movie, he's the first winner.
Yeah.
He's actually the third in real life. They did it over multiple years.
So, well then, why was he chosen to become a racer instead of the other two winners, the Frenchman or the Spanishman?
Why was it they decided to make the movie about him?
No, what happened to the Frenchman and the Spaniard?
They won. They went to GT Academy. They did it over multiple years.
Oh, he was just the third one?
He was just the third, to win the GT Academy. Like, they obviously did the thing, brought on 12 people.
Yeah.
It was the Spanish guy, second year, the French guy, and then it was Jan. And maybe he's the only one that actually went on to qualify into becoming a race car driver.
Maybe he's the only one who did Le Mans, which is why the story was told that way. Maybe.
Yeah.
He won it.
Yeah.
Dude, he won Le Mans.
I don't think he won. They came third. Did they?
Did it?
I think they came third.
Oh. No.
Which is still a podium finish. Like, it's still a massive, massive achievement.
Oh, did you think about Le Mans 66, James Mangold's movie, when you were watching
Oh,
movie?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's funny, Le Mans is like, even though it's a 24-hour racing event,
Yeah.
and it that seems like it's like super cool and super interesting. Never hear about it. Only time I've ever heard about it is Ford vs Ferrari, Le Mans 66, and this movie.
Yeah.
It's never one that's like advertised. It's one that, like, I don't know anyone that watches it. It's so weird. Like, for us in Ireland, if anyone's watching racing, it's Formula 1. No one's watching this kind of racing. Unless they're watching this movie.
It's the French.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch Formula 1. I don't watch any kind of racing.
Neither do I.
So
Only when Dom Toretto's behind the wheel.
only when Dom.
Because do you know what, David?
You gotta make it to the barbecue.
You forgot to take away my car.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How are they gonna... Sorry, how are they gonna resolve that cliffhanger when he fronts on the fucking waterfall? He fronts on it. He fronts on that dam.
I can take it.
If you want to go back and listen to our Fast X review, that's a time and a half. You go back and listen to that. That's a good laugh.
Ah, that's a fun one.
You got a flashback for me?
Oh yeah, Dave, I do have a flashback for you.
Go for it.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, and I commented on it because foreshadow.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Studios.
Yeah.
So PlayStation now has their own adaptation studio, so they'll be making movies and TV shows from here on out. Gran Turismo is the fourth adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Started with Uncharted.
Yeah.
Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg playing Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg not not playing Nathan Drake or Sully.
Dressed as.
Yeah, just really good, really cosplay.
Yeah.
And then the next one was the God sent, Jesus kissed The Last of Us.
Yeah.
From HBO.
Which we did 2 episodes on. Actually, we did our first impressions and we did a full
Final
season review.
Full season, yeah.
With special guest Richie DeLee.
And you can listen to that by skinning through our catalogue on Spotify. And
What's
then
the third one?
The third one.
Yeah.
Was released this year, David. And since it's not a movie, because the second movie was Gran Turismo, Twisted Metal.
Oh.
Starring Anthony Mackie.
Is that PlayStation Studios?
Yes, PlayStation.
Wow.
And because it's aired on Peacock, Ireland here, we don't have it, so we don't have the privilege of watching it. But as I say, I hope it gets a season 2 because I don't like series which promise get cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
And stars Anthony Mackie, and it stars a big guy with a clown mask who goes on a rampage killing people in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm not going to hear talk about
voiced by Will Arnett.
Will Arnett, yeah, which is when you have a big actor to come in to voice a character you pretty much Dark Vader him.
Yeah,
pretty much, okay, so there's a lot of thought in there. So the point is, David, they have Uncharted, The Last of Us, Twisted Metal, and now we have Gran Turismo, all under PlayStation banner. So when the logo, every studio has their introduction, and PlayStation has theirs, and you see the catalogue of all their stuff. So David, when I heard that PlayStation Studios were becoming their own company, like what Pixar is to Disney, what Marvel is to Disney, what Star Wars is to Disney, we are here to make adaptations of the games we make. Mm-hmm. And dude, you want to see the list of everything else they have in development. Mm-hmm. Whether or not they will get made, but they're in development. Money is being spent on it. And this goes from Ghost of
Tsushima.
That, Days Gone, a shitload of others that I'm just going to forget right now. But
God of War.
Yeah, there you go. God of War is one that's in the makings. And it's ranged from TV shows to movies. And it can be both if they want, depending on how successful they'll be. So this is the fourth one. And how crazy is it? Instead of going into a typical obvious IP, they nick this out of this needle in a haystack weird combination of a game adaptation into a movie, but it's actually not, and it's a true story. The fact that this is within the top 5 of order release, like, man, it's pretty impressive that they got this story and didn't just did an apocalyptic movie adaptation of Days Gone. That was supposed to get a sequel and never did. I don't think it did. It will, but it's interesting. So I think a few years from now, David, we're going to be thinking, what's the Pixar movie? What's the Star Wars movie? What's the Christopher Nolan movie? What's the PlayStation movie?
Yeah, you could see a big shift in.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
that's another one that's in development. I hope it comes to fruition because Oscar Isaac is attached.
Wow, yeah, that'd be good. No, I think that you're right. I think that there could be a big shift, like we were talking last week about Blue Beetle. There could be a big shift in the popular movie genre, and it could be video game movies, it could be adapting,
Hopefully.
video games. So I think that wraps up our section of flashbacks for this week. So Laura, just play that music and get on out of here. So I don't really think that we have too much more to say on Gran Turismo. I think you inadvertently hit the nail on the head there, which was that going in with actually like low expectations, not expecting much, you actually do enjoy it more, and there's a lot to like about the movie.
Yeah.
It's not one that you're going to be rushing out to see. It's not one that I don't think either of us are going to be rushing to watch again.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think I'll watch it sometime 5 years from now.
Yeah, but it'd be fine to put on. It's like, oh, it's.
Well, let me ask you, is there anything you didn't like about it?
I didn't like the, and it's not so much I didn't like it. I think that I just wanted more of it, which was the at the beginning when it has like those moments where he kind of sees it like through his gamer vision of he can see things that kind of everyone else can't. Like, this is how he views the road and seeing the line on the track. I would just like to see more of that. I would like to see more of his.
A lot more of that, a little less of. But Mom.
Yeah, there's just that like a lot of the. I think that emphasizing the fact that he was a gamer, that he came from that and became a driver. I would have liked to see more of that stuff kind of implemented in it, and it should have been kind of a. He should have had a quicker route to getting good. Now maybe obviously because it's based on a true story, that's why it can't be that.
Well,
like,
remember, like, we've only seen it once, and it was the gust of a month ago since we've seen it.
Yeah, and then I do have to commend it in the crash, showing the crash, because in real life, Jan did crash and kill someone, and I think that he came out and said at some point, I'm not sure when it was, that it would have felt disingenuous to not include that. Like, if they're going to make a movie about his triumphs, they should also include this mistake and this accident that happened. So
do you think we should have put a face to that person, because they said someone was killed, a bystander, but we didn't see a person's face? I
didn't think about it like that, and I think maybe in a way yes, but in a way no.
Having a face
would have driven it home more.
Do you think?
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's not like that is something that happened, but we're following him. It's like you could make the argument that like when we watched Oppenheimer, we didn't see the bomb drop on Japanese people.
Yes, but that was more so about an event as opposed to a single person, and this was an accident. And I think if you were to compare it, Oppenheimer's too vast.
Maybe.
I think if you were to compare it, you. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't have enough time, but you know what I mean. That like, it's not about that. It's about Jan. It's about him and him dealing with it. So I don't know. To be honest, I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't know.
That's okay.
I'd have to think on it,
dude. You, man, me, we're only human.
But yeah, unless you have anything else to say, I think we can roll into some recommendations and wrap this baby up.
It's my favourite movie of Neil Blomkamp, knowing that I haven't seen District 9, and I think Neil Blomkamp should be directing more after seeing this movie. It's better. I think this movie's better than most. I just thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
Stunts alone, dude. Like, there was not much of them, but they're good. And then he just knew to cast, like, who decided to cast Orlando Bloom of all people?
Yeah.
This movie? Great choice.
An odd, I was going to say an oddball cast, but it's just like a...
It is an oddball cast.
I wouldn't really put... you wouldn't put them together.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't at all. And I'm happy to have it. So, no, man, this movie, thumbs up.
Yeah, good. Enjoyed it. You got any recommendations for this week?
Do I have any recommendations for this week? Yeah, I have a recommendation to watch. You can watch it whenever you want. It was released last month. It's an Apple TV Plus limited series called Hijack, starring Idris Elba.
Oh, is this about the plane?
Yeah, this is about the plane. And I thought about this to myself before finishing it. I could see this character, Idris Elba. No, sorry, I'll take it back. I couldn't see him so easily done. It'd have to be very well done, more done than how Ryan Johnson does it for his Knives Out character played by Daniel Craig. But I would love to see Idris Elba come back to play the character he plays in Hijack for different scenarios and different situations for different events. But they'd have to be so very well thought out as why is he in this situation and why is he putting it upon himself to deal with it the way he does. As he does in this show, Hijack. It's only 7 episodes long. Why is it his business to interfere or get himself involved with the hijackers when he's not even an air marshal? He's not an air marshal. And because of what he does as a career, I would like to see that done. I would like to see him act in action in what he does for a living. I'm not going to go into any more. It's 7 episodes. No episode is beyond an hour. It's all less than an hour, actually. It's a cool show. Idris Elba is cool. When is he not cool? When have you not liked Idris Elba, David?
I could name a few.
Cut this out, because the answer is never. Idris Elba has always been great. Fact. And he's actually another actor like Djimon Hounsou, I think.
That's what I meant. When I was saying that, I meant to say he is in a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, that's like, I just wish he was in it more, or I wish that he had a better role. Like, he's fine, but the role isn't great. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I meant by that.
Well, yeah, I recommend Hijack. 7 episodes long, Apple TV Plus. Cool. Yeah, just give it a go.
Good.
It's a limited series. I would love to see him come back to play this character again. And I've never hated British hijackers more than I have in this.
No spoilers, man. I didn't know there was hijackers on this TV show named Hijack. Is it based on a true story? Like Gran Turismo.
Come on there, man.
My recommendation is completely different to yours. It was a movie that I watched there. Didn't intend to watch it, but Laura just put it on. I was like, you pick the movie tonight, and she put it on. You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. Which is a new movie on Netflix. It stars Adam Sandler and all of Adam Sandler's family. It stars his wife and his 2 daughters, and he's like the dad, and he's married to Idina Menzel. And it follows his daughter, who's like 13 or 14, having her bat mitzvah. She's falling out with her friend, and it's just like, it's nepotism, the movie, but she's actually a good actress. She's fine, and it's funny enough, and it's just like a fun time.
You're not held hostage by
I genuinely
hijackers. You really recommend this.
I really do recommend it, in that it's just like a funny coming of age story. I like coming of age stories.
I do too.
I love those, like The Way Back, Ferris Bueller, Kings of Summer, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, stuff like that. And this was like a good coming of age story from like a perspective that I hadn't seen before, which is 2 female Jewish girls. I said female, but you know what I mean, like 2 young.
Just hit it home for the misogynistic patriarch. Girls. Yeah,
and they were, and it was good. I enjoyed it, and I would actually recommend it. I don't mean that with any malice or any sarcasm or anything like that.
Was Adam Sandler good?
Adam Sandler, like, for being, about Adam Sandler's family, he's not in it much. But he is still good in it. He has some very funny scenes.
Okay.
It's not like wacky Adam Sandler like he would be in, like, say, Jack and Jill.
Yeah, okay.
But kind of realistic.
Does it have any jokes where characters are still talking and the joke is just being drawn out by the character still talking, and it's like, oh, it's awkward, or it's ridiculous? Yeah. And it has them?
It has, yeah.
I'm not going to watch it.
No, you don't like that?
No.
There's one, it's one where, it's not a spoiler, but it's like, Adam Sandler and the daughter are arguing upstairs. They're shouting, and someone comes to the door, and the mom answers the door, and she's like, "Oh, hi June, how are you?" And then you can hear upstairs like, "I hate you."
But that I already know is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about. Do you know actors like Sam Richardson or Tony Hale?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know them actors?
Yeah.
Literally anything they would be in. That type of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe anything to do with Ted Lasso as well. Any type of humor from Ted Lasso.
Not really, then. No.
Okay. Well then, I may consider watching this.
Okay. Awesome.
You've learned something about me, David, and my taste in comedy.
I have. Yeah.
There you go.
Every day's a school day.
Every day you learn something.
Brian, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, David, thanks for having me. I'll join you next week if you'll have me.
And you know what? I'll have you next week. You can come, and you know what? So can the audience. If you guys enjoyed this, we're here every single Wednesday. You can join us for another episode. You can go back and listen to all our other episodes. We mentioned a few there in this one. Fast X, Last of Us. We've loads, plenty, too many to name. We did Blue Beetle last week. We did Ninja Turtles, Joyride.
We don't always
Oppenheimer,
talk about
Barbie.
movies. We talk about other subject matters like genres within themselves. And
Yeah.
Don't waste your time listening to us.
Just go back and listen.
Go back and
And waste your time listening to us. Don't waste your time listening now. Go back and waste your time listening before. But yeah, look, listen to all the episodes. They're great. If you could give us 5 stars, we'd really appreciate it. Make sure to like us on Instagram and on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere.
I monitor the Instagram one. I be paying attention to who does be liking it.
Yeah, so you're being watched.
Yeah.
Alright, you better like it. But yeah, if you have any questions, send it into talkingpicturespodcast1@gmail.com. We take suggestions, we take recommendations, we take questions. The last couple episodes there back, we talked about musical biopics, which was a question from a fan. We talked about legacy sequels. We talked about sequels that are better than the originals. Like, there's loads of topics, so loads of stuff. So send in whatever you want, and maybe we'll talk about it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Thanks, Brian.
Any final thoughts?
That's it. No, thanks, Brian.
No? Alright. How long was this?
This one was 38 minutes.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Brian.